Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gorgeous weather continues for the next couple of days. Our humidity is low this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, a high just 81 degrees. 56 tonight, so nice and cool under clear skies. It'll feel great tomorrow morning. And a nice afternoon, too, with a high of 79 under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 293 points to 38,147. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side. Bang!
Shotgun snap. Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Thursday, I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Day 6. Carolina Hurricanes. No GM. Again, it's the same thing as yesterday. It feels like we're lost at sea, and the captain is taking the captain's log, right? Captain's log. It's been 6 days. We've been yet a leader. Hoping for some type of influence to be sent to our way. The Canes don't have a GM, and the panic is not setting in yet. I don't believe any opportunities have been missed. I believe they have a temporary structure, interim GM Eric Tolsky and everybody else to handle the day-to-day, right? They can handle the minor league contracts. They can handle the prep for the draft and organizing tape and things like that. The real decisions don't have to be made yet. But we're not far from panic, right? We said yesterday, a week from yesterday. So we're 6 days. 6 days from why the heck don't you have a GM? And it's time to start looking at the reasons why you might not have a GM. One is Tom Dundon, the owner of the Canes, might just be taking his time. Right? This is an important decision. You don't want to be doing it again next year.
Yeah, why rush it?
Talk to everybody, right? Fully vet the resources. You hear about it with draft prospects. It's like, go talk to their middle school janitor and see how they used to treat the janitor and if they thanked them when they opened doors and all that kind of stuff. So do what you got to do to find out if you like the GM. But has anybody thought if maybe GMs might be hesitant to take the Canes job? Is it truly just Tom Dundon choosing who he wants, or might he be turned down a time or two? Might somebody with options go, you know what? I'll wait. First of all, and I mean this seriously, and I say this about every single head coaching job in a pro sport, even like a power conference head coaching job, there is a certain amount of attractiveness that all the GM jobs have in the NHL because there are only 32 of them. And there's no guarantee if you turn down one this year, there's going to be one waiting next year. You see it with coordinators in the NFL sometimes. A coordinator will go, no, thank you on the head coaching job. I want to stay here.
Ben Johnson, Detroit Lions.
Ben Johnson, but then occasionally the next year, like your offense goes, wheels fall off, and now all of a sudden, not only are you not a head coach, you're flirting with not being a coordinator anymore. Ken Dorsey,
yeah,
right, taking head coaching interviews, and suddenly Mike Kafka taking head coaching interviews, and suddenly can't get a job. So that's why there's only 32 head coaching jobs, 32 GM jobs, and if one becomes available, it is going to be attractive. Second of all, on its surface, the Canes job is awesome, right? Just if you just look at like the bones, right? When I was looking for a house, my realtor said 5 things. He said kitchen, bathrooms, air conditioning, roof, windows. He said if those 5 things are all good in your house, probably a pretty good buy, right? You can fix up the other stuff, you can do other stuff, but those 5 things: be a good roof, good heating or HVAC, air conditioning, heating, good kitchen, good bathrooms, good windows. You can work with the rest.
Yeah,
right?
You can paint. That's easy.
That always
change carpet, cool.
Oh, we were HGTV people for a while. We'd watch all the lover list, flip or flop, fixer upper, all that kind of stuff. It would frustrate me beyond all belief when a couple walks into like their dream home and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the color, the green walls are it's not sitting well with me." I'm like, the paint. It's like $100 in paint. Just relax. Take a weekend, paint. Anyway. Got me good. That's, in case you can't tell, that's one of my pet peeves. It's like, well, I guess we'll take the one with the kitchen we don't like, the smaller backyard, and it doesn't have a basement even though we really want one because we just can't take the other one with the blue walls. I'm like, what are we doing? On its surface, if you just look at the important things, coach, best player, ownership, winning culture. If you like, that's like the main, that's the HVAC, the roof.
Farm system.
Yeah, farm system, exactly. Canes are very, very attractive.
Oh, very much so.
They have all of that in a line. It's new HVAC, new roof. It's all right there, fresh, ready to go, locked in. You got Rod, you got Aho, you got the winning culture. But here's where the hesitancy might come, right? Here's where if you're somebody with options, if you're a hot rising executive that is well thought of in the league and you're thinking, are the Canes the one I want to take my chance at, right? Are the Canes the one I want to go all in on being the GM at? Here's the hesitancy. There is no easing into this one. There is no growing pains that will be accepted. You either win in a very, very big way or disappointment will set in quickly. You know, Don Waddell leaving the Canes and going to Columbus? Has anyone thought this? All right. We're just spitballing here. We're amongst friends, right? You're not going to run and tell everybody I said this. Has anybody thought that Don Waddell might have been timing his exit? I think it might be very difficult to be better next year than the Canes were last year. Right, you look at like we've been obviously talking around the office. We're a sports brand about the Canes, and there's this list of the best free agents available on the Athletic, and it comes out to like if you the players you want back for the Canes, that averages a bunch more money than you have available in the cap. Players are going to leave. You're not going to have the same players back on the roster, not because you don't want them back, because you can't afford them back. And that's even if you get deals done with the Martinooks and the Chatfields and some of the guys that maybe won't break the bank but are still due for new money. The reason why the Canes job would scare some away is because if you don't win a cup, it's a disappointment. And there are some reasons to believe that they might be worse next year than the previous year, and most of those reasons are salary cap reasons, but still. So now let's say they take a step back. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying they missed the playoffs. I'm just saying let's say they take a step back. Maybe for the first time in 3 seasons they don't win 50 games. I'm not wishing it. I'm not hoping for it. I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying maybe. If that happens, who do you think they're going to blame?
GM.
Yeah, it's not Rod because Rod's proven he can win. It's not the roster because the core proven they can win. It's the new guy. right? Everything's the same except for him, even though the roster will be different just on levels that maybe the casual fan won't notice. They'll be like, yeah, Aho's still here, Svetch is still here, Jarvis will be back. Slavin's not going anywhere. Burns will be around. It's like, yeah, a lot of it's the same. Rod's still here. Dundon's still here. Suddenly you show up and you win 48 games. Most franchises out there would be like, hey, we won 48 games. Canes are, first time in 3 years, 4 years, we haven't had 50. That's where the hesitancy comes from. And as a GM, I say this about coaches, say this about GMs. If you have a 3-year solid run to start your career, you got jobs for the next 15 years, right? If you win, if you do well, if you're seen as positive in your first impression, your first 3 years as a GM, even if you get let go from the job you're doing now, you'll get retreaded around the league a few times because that first impression is he knows what he's doing. He's won some games. Your career win-loss record will be high. So it's like, all right, yeah, we'll give you another shot. However, there's a lot of people throughout history that struggle early and never get a second chance. So you need to choose where you go the first time you take that big job very carefully. So there is a possibility where this search for the Canes GM is not just we are the most attractive person looking for a date at the prom. And we just get to go through the hallways going, maybe you, and then they say yes. It's not just that. There might be, you might have to do the old school prom thing, right? So are you going with anybody? Let me check. Would you be interested in, are you planning on going? Would you be possibly interested in? You got to do that whole deal to make sure that they're as interested in you as you are with them. All GM jobs are attractive, but the ones with options, meaning the GMs with options, well, they're gonna use those options, right? They're gonna explore. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As always, coming up in our next segment, we have the next question in our 99 questions about the college football season. That's coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker face of the league and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because no. I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to the Financial Safari News Network.
From Coach Pete's Money Desk, America's Wealth Coach, Coach Pete DeRuta. Coach, let's talk life insurance.
So many different types, good ones, bad ones too, by the way. There's variable, there's fixed, there's universal, there's whole, there's term. Term's good. Like term is the cheapest life insurance, so a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year term. The problem is it expires. And 30 years from now, if you need new insurance, you think it's going to be as cheap as it would be today? Are you going to be as healthy 30 years from now as you were today? The best time to get insurance, a permanent policy, is when you're young, lock the insurance company into low rates, and you have a forever policy. Life insurance is the only investment I've known in my investment career, that one investment that's guaranteed to pay off. It really does what it says, tax-free. It also can help you with long-term care while you're here. You really need to find out about the new life insurance policies, folks. You get the right one for the right time of your life, and I can help you right now. Call right now.
888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, want to test drive the Rogue? And I'm like, let's go. We're driving when Dave says, check out the VC turbo engine. I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Dave goes, if you think that's cool, watch this. Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy. Dave mentions, these new cars are going fast. And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 Memorial Day bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 Memorial Day bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 Memorial Day bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SV and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. Ends 5/31/24.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the next question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. To get you ready for college football, we've been doing this for a couple weeks now. We're going to do it all the way up until college football's opening kick. The question for today is, from the triangle, meaning the schools in the triangle, not like grew up in the triangle, who is the most likely first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft? Who's the most likely? Obviously, the past couple of years, it's been like Drake May, right? There it is.
That was pretty cut and dry.
And it was obvious. Not as obvious this time, right? And that makes it more of a conversation. Because here's the thing. For this upcoming NFL draft, by the way, this is not 2 drafts into the future, or else I think it opens up a few more options. For this upcoming NFL draft, I think maybe the best NFL prospect is Omarion Hampton, the running back from UNC. 6 foot, 220, already has production, will certainly get a ton of volume this year. Again, the problem with that is he's a running back, right? So he might be the first running back off the board. I think that's within the realm of possibilities. There are others that are also very good, 2 of them out there at Ohio State. I believe there's one at Boise State. There are other good running backs that could also and maybe more likely hold that position. But if Omarion Hampton has a massive season, I think he could be the first running back off the board. I just don't know if that means he's even a first-round pick.
Yeah, he might be a second round, like a Jonathan Brooks, mid-40s, something like that.
Which would be awesome for him, and it would show how great of an NFL prospect he is, but that's not the question. The question is, who is the most likely first-round pick in the triangle? And I just can't, in good faith, tell you the answer to that question is a running back.
Yeah.
Now, part of me thinks you go quarterback, right? Because even if you're not a good quarterback, if you have one great season, you could be a first-round pick. Could it be someone like Grayson McCall, where if he has his Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, 5th-year senior, explode onto the scene, most efficient quarterback in the country, do you end up a first-round pick? Maybe. He could have like his Bo Nix kind of moment. Could it be Malik Murphy? Again, a similar explode onto the scene, burst, everybody
I don't think he's eligible, though. That's the thing.
Did he not redshirt at Texas?
But he's only in his second year of college, so he's not eligible yet.
Oh, see, I thought he redshirted and then played 1 year. All right, well then, not Malik Murphy.
Yeah.
Could it be Max Johnson? If he plays it at UNC, balls out, and has that exploding moment. I just don't see any of that really happening. Which brings me to probably the most boring answer of the bunch.
Actually, I do take that back. Malik Murphy did redshirt.
Okay.
So, yeah, he might be. Actually, I take that back. I 100% stand corrected, folks.
Thank you. But I still, even if he has like his exploding moment, I think it'll probably be next year if it happens. This year will be a lot of growing pains. Even if not his growing pains, the roster around him growing pains. I think if you're looking for positional importance, you're looking for the measurables, you're looking for somebody who could benefit from a good season around him, you end up on Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, NC State. 6 feet 6 inches, 335 pounds. Those are the numbers that the NFL is looking for. Guy that probably could have been a draft pick this past year, mid-round, and elected to come back to NC State. If State has one of those seasons that is very good, I think he's going to have to be very good. And then kind of the rising tide could lift all boats. If guys like Casey Concepcion, guys like Jordan Waters, guys like Noah Rogers, guys like Justin Jolie have really big seasons for NC State, I think Belton can kind of ride that wave to a little bit more hype. And then, as we saw this year, right, talking about positional importance, wide receiver, offensive tackle, and quarterback. I mean, you just have to be projected as a serviceable starter in the NFL, and there's a good chance you're going to be drafted in the first round. Right? If you're a running back, you have to be like a Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs level prospect who projects as like a multiple-time Pro Bowler over the first 5 years of your career to get drafted in the first round. If you are a off-ball linebacker, it doesn't matter if you're the best linebacker in the country, you'd be a late third-round pick. Peyton Wilson. Like to be so many positions. Safety, you'd have to be unreal to be a first. To be an offensive tackle, you have to be the size and show the generic kind of baseline level of athleticism to be able to move that body and bend and flex and anchor and all the things that they're looking for. So this is a year where the triangle doesn't have the top level obvious draft guy coming into this one. Like I said, we took it for granted with Drake May. Right? The moment he threw those 38 touchdowns in his first year as a starter, everyone was like, well, he might be going number 1 or number 2 overall in this year's draft. And he still has to go back to school for a year, which just made it obvious. Can you imagine last year if we did this? 99 questions. Who's the most likely first-round pick in the triangle?
Be the shortest segment ever.
Would have been.
Drake May.
We would have had to do the old school radio move. Other than Drake May, who is the most likely first-round pick in the triangle? And I don't know who it would have been. By the way, there are other options here. If Kamen Rucker has 15 sacks, if there's other offensive linemen that could make it happen. There's a few. Aiden White, if he has a absolute lockdown season as a corner for NC State, right? There are other positions of importance that could, which is why I say, there's always those breakouts. But we're playing the percentages here. We gotta bet the appropriate way, looking at the percentages. So I'm going Anthony Belton, but the best prospect I still stand by is Omarion Hampton, the running back for UNC.
Don't disagree with that.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Want to win a trip to the 84th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? I just want to say that again. A trip to the 84th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? Well, guess what? Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Just go to stylininSturgis.com. Again, StylinInSturgis.com to enter. Prizes include a VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to StylinInSturgis.com to enter today. It's a pretty awesome prize. A trip and a custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle. StylinInSturgis.com. Enter today. If you, by the way, a lot of people are out on the roads, motorcyclists, they're out and about, including myself. Took the bike again into work today on a beautiful day like it is. Just be aware of motorcyclists that are out there on the roads. But if you yourself are caught in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Sturgis is no joke, by the way. When I used to live in a small town in Nebraska, and everyone would be driving out towards Sturgis for the party event. I don't know what you want to call it.
Big rally, motorcycle rally,
and like our town would get taken over for like 18 hours as everyone was just passing through. And they were coming from all over the world to go to that thing. Sturgis is no joke. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I ask you this question when we come back. Are somehow, some way, I did not see this happening, the expectations getting too low for the Carolina Panthers? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
NC State grad slipped and slid and tumbled her way to her second championship cheese rolling event. Abby Lampy, who last year wore a black NC State hoodie, sliding and slipping and falling down this 200-foot hill. This year,
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I joke around with my wife and call it my bionic knee.
But before Ernest became a patient with QC Kinetics, it was a different story.
I'd go to bed with my knee throbbing, heat, ice. I would get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something, and I would just be hobbling.
He wasn't able to play on his rec basketball team or work in the yard, but QC Kinetics regenerative treatments turned around the situation without surgery or downtime, using Ernest's own healing properties to help restore his aching knee, now known as Ernest's bionic knee.
I am really happy because I am playing the game that I love so much, and I'm playing with my granddaughter, and I'm gardening, and I'm on my knees, and I'm jumping up. I have a 200-pound dog, and I'm playing with my dog.
Now Ernest is living his best life thanks to QC Kinetics, and so can you. Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here. There's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year, barbecues, warm weather. I'm doing a little bit of all of that, which is why I trust Zero Res to come in and clean up the mess that all of that makes. Just check out the 3,800 raving customer reviews online with a 4.8 Google rating. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet Zero Resified, starting at just $105, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning while you're at it. Make sure to mention me, Tim from 99.9 The Fan. Book with ease at ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt
burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You will not hear me arguing for the Panthers as a playoff team. You will not hear me calling them a good NFL team until they prove it on the field. I just want to set the baseline here.
It's a low bar.
But there has to be a limit somewhere. There has to be a limit somewhere. There's too much piling on of the Panthers. Again, I'm not here to say they're great. I'm here to say, take it easy. It's become too accepted to just, without thinking, say the Panthers are the worst at everything. They're not that. And not because they're awesome at it, but because there's other bad teams in the NFL too. It's because, like, every once in a while a team gets to this point where it's as if they have no good players at all. It's as if everything is completely terrible and it'll never get better. And guess what? It usually gets better at some point. Sometimes it takes a long time, but there's a couple players that hold out. Every time I check, and it's, do you know how this is where you notice your own behavior. I try to be aware of even what I'm doing, right? So, as part of our job, we have the cool thing of, if there's an article that mentions the Panthers, we're probably going to read it. If there's an article that mentions any of the teams we cover, we're probably going to read it, right? If there's a buzzworthy podcast about one of the teams we cover, we're probably going to listen to it. It's how it goes. And I've gotten to the point now when, like The Athletic, ESPN.com, Pro Football Talk, any of these groups, Sports Illustrated, put out a list of teams ranking anything. Do you know what I do as soon as I click on the link? Scroll to the bottom, scroll to the bottom, scroll. The whole article just wisps right across my screen, and I start looking at the bottom because that's where the Panthers are going to be. Sports Illustrated put out an article listing the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver trios. Panthers were 29th. 29th. And I was like, all right, well,
not good.
Let me see what they say about him, right? Let me see this justification here. And the first thing I notice is the quarterback, running back, wide receiver they give is Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, and Adam Thielen. And I'm going, those aren't even the three right people.
What?
Bryce Young, first running back drafted, Jonathan Brooks, and key trade target that has multiple pretty big seasons for the Pittsburgh Steelers and already is the most talented wide receiver that Bryce Young's had to throw to, Deontay Johnson. And you may say, well, maybe it wasn't updated. They had Caleb Williams for the Bears. They had Drake May for the Patriots. They had draft picks in there, so you could have had Jonathan Brooks, and Deontay Johnson trade happened before the draft. So, again, I'm fine being honest about the Panthers. Matter of fact, I think I usually am pretty brutal on the Panthers.
The comments in YouTube would say such.
Yeah, so actually I'm coming from an area, like a direction that many of you are probably going, what is going on here? It's because, like, everybody, what do they say about, like selling a prized possession or something? Like, oh, I have a watch that my grandfather gave me. Like, everybody has a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the reverse of that. I can be honest and critical of the Panthers. I expect criticism of the Panthers to a certain point, and then it's like, all right, well, let's make sure we're being accurate here. Let's make sure we're not just falling in line because if you say something negative about the Panthers, it's safe. Nobody in the world is going to come back to you halfway through next year and say, whoa, cold takes exposed. What a loser. You were negative to the Panthers, because everybody was. But that's not a reason to be negative to the Panthers. Sports Illustrated put out the best quarterback head coach duo. So, right, we talk about the four horsemen of the franchise: owner, GM, head coach, quarterback. They limited it to just the bottom two on that ladder. Head coach, quarterback duos. They ranked everyone in the league. Panthers had the 31st best, a.k.a. the second worst. Again, scroll all the way to the bottom. Start there when you're looking for the Panthers. Which, again, I'm not even saying like 31st is wrong, right? Because the Panthers are bad. They had the worst record in the league last year. They didn't have their number one overall pick. Okay, let me read the justification. Let me see the order. Let me see the ones around it. Let me put context around this. Somehow, Bryce Young and Dave Canales were 2 spots below Brian Callahan and Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans. What?
Who?
Now you may go, well, all right, that's a new coach and a second-year quarterback. That's exactly what the Panthers are.
Yeah.
The only difference is Brian Callahan, coming from the Bengals, where many would say much more talented as an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to somehow make Jamar Chase look talented.
Oh, man.
And T. Higgins and Joe Burrow when he's healthy. Meanwhile, Dave Canales was calling plays for Baker Mayfield.
Made him look good.
Bryce Young may not have been a world beater, but he showed more in more games than Will Levis. Will Levis had 1 game. He came in, he started, he threw 4 touchdowns. Everyone got really excited. Then not the same the rest of the year. 2 spots below. Callahan and Levis were 2 spots better than Canales and Young. Again, I'm fine being critical of the Panthers. I think you should be critical of the Panthers. I think they've earned criticism. But it's gone too far. ESPN gave them the second best chance at the number 1 overall pick. Over 20% of the time in their mathematical equation. It was 20-point-something% of the time. 1/5 of the chances. The Panthers will be the worst team in the NFL. We already talked about how sportsbooks have them as an underdog in every game. If you were to go right now, bet on DraftKings Sportsbook on the Panthers in any game they have this year, they're the underdog in every single one of them. There has to be a limit. There has to be a point where you're like, listen, I was with you. I agree they're not doing great. I agree, but it's plausible they can be the 24th best team in the NFL next year. Because the way everybody's talking about it, it's like they're either the worst or the second worst. It's them and the Patriots, and that's it. It's plausible they're better than the Broncos. Why? Not because the Panthers are world beaters, but because the Broncos stink too. Because the Broncos are going to be paying Russell Wilson a boatload of money against the cap, and he's not even playing for them. Because the best thing you can say about the skill positions for the Broncos are maybe they're healthy this time. Cortland Sutton is great if he's healthy this time. Javonte Williams is great if he's healthy this time. Bo Nix and Zach Wilson are the quarterbacks. I mean, if you're starting like a boy band, those two first-round draft picks.
I like it.
If you're starting an NFL team, maybe not.
Maybe not so much.
The Patriots think the Giants. Could the Panthers be better than the Giants?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the Giants' entire offense was Saquon Barkley, and he's an Eagle now.
Mm-hmm.
And they replaced him with Devin Singletary. No disrespect to Devin Singletary, but Saquon Barkley, he is not. Daniel Jones might be back, might not. The Commanders. Sure, that looks like they've probably got some things going, but are you confidently saying they don't stink? Rookie quarterback, new coach. I mean, I could go on and on. The Raiders. The Raiders were at the top of the needs a quarterback list going into the draft, and they didn't get one.
Yeah. So, hey, who is their quarterback? Is it Aiden O'Connell?
Aiden O'Connell. I believe there might be a Minshew involved.
Oh, yeah, Minshew and then Antonio Pierce.
There, Antonio Pierce, new coach.
Yeah.
The Titans stink.
They do.
Like, this is by process of elimination. That like you don't have to go find all the good teams and say they're better than the Panthers. I just listed, what is that, like 6 or 7 teams that could be worse than the Panthers, even if the Panthers stink. So when you're looking at lists, when you're looking at rankings, I never thought I'd say this because I'm like, we cover the Panthers so closely. Sometimes I think like the warts get magnified. Like the flaws, we talk about them so often because you're looking for what do they have to fix, what do they have to do. Like, I never thought I'd say this. I think I'm higher on the Panthers than consensus. You heard Dennis say it. You can go back and look at our YouTube comments. You can go back and look at our social media comments. All the feedback that we receive. Most people think I'm too negative on the Panthers. I think for once I get to say I'm higher on the Panthers than consensus right now. I don't think they have the 31st best head coach quarterback duo. I'm darn near optimistic. I'll put them somewhere at 28.
Put them at like 27, 26.
I think there are 4
25.
or 5 teams that I might have them over. Look at how optimistic I'm being. I don't think they have the whatever it was, 29th best quarterback, running back, wide receiver trio. I think Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, and Adam Thielen might be the 29th best, but that's not what they're actually putting out there. I think Jonathan Brooks is more talented than Chuba Hubbard. I think Deontay Johnson is more talented than Adam Thielen. They might get up to 26 or 27. Look out. You just keep talking like this, I might say they're not going to finish last in the division. Really get crazy. It is realistic that the Panthers are going to win 5 or 6 games. It is within a crazy fever dream that they could win 7.
All that's an improvement.
It's all an improvement, and there will be teams that win 3 or 4 games. There will be.
Mm-hmm.
Or a team that wins 3, a team that wins 4, a team that wins 5. Like, there are bad teams every year, and that's not saying the other teams are all world beaters. It's just, it's the groupthink. It's the safety of it, right? Right now, there's not a media person on the planet that could say something negative about the Panthers and get blowback. Because it's safe. It's you're protected by everybody else.
It's easy.
It's easy. Easy is not the reason to be negative. You want to get, like, that's why I said, right, all right, they're 31st in this ranking. They're 30th in that ranking. They're 32nd in that ranking. I go like, all right, let me read the justification. Let me see what you're saying here. And if you have something good, I'll believe you, right? I'm not against criticizing the worst team in the NFL from last year. I'm against assuming it's going to be that way just because you didn't do the necessary research to really look into it. Callahan and Levis? Brian Callahan and Will Levis. Better than Dave Canales and Bryce Young. That's the one that was like, pendulum swung too far. Let's overcorrect back the other way. And I don't want to overcorrect back the other. I don't want to be like, actually, they're the 15th. No. I just want honesty. Is that too much to ask?
No.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Not long ago, this afternoon actually, the ACC dropped an email in our inboxes with game times. I like that. There's tackling going on there.
Yeah, football hits.
All right. Their game times. What do we have here? We have Florida State, Georgia Tech kicking everything off in Dublin, Ireland, noon on Saturday, August 24th. Looking at the first games for the local teams, North Carolina at Minnesota is going to be an 8 p.m. game on Thursday, August 29th. Duke, Elon, 7:30, ACC Network, August 30th. No, we got to find a little NC State opener. Where's that looking like?
That's the Thursday the 29th when they host Western Carolina. It's a 7 o'clock game on
there you go.
Network.
They're the home team, so they weren't.
Yep.
I was looking for NC State on the left side. Yep, Western Carolina, NC State, 7 p.m. ACC Network. So a lot of night games to get things started.
Yeah, that Thursday to start the year is a lot of North Carolina teams feature that Thursday night because you have 7 o'clock NC State hosting Western Carolina. And then at 7 o'clock, North Carolina A&T. It's a battle on the Triad is at Wake Forest. And then UNC that night at 8 o'clock is on the road at Minnesota. So that Thursday night is going to be filled with a lot of teams from the state of North Carolina.
That's going to I mean, at least we have the advance notice because it's still May, but I got to find somewhere with 3 screens to watch that because they're all 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. They're all going to be going on at the same time.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Might have to put one on the computer. That's not fun. What else we got? I know. I mean, there's a ton of games listed here.
They basically announced the first 3 weeks of the season in terms of game times, what network teams are going to be featured on, and so on and so forth. Interesting one when Ole Miss is at Wake Forest on Saturday, September 14th. It's a 6:30 kick. That's a CW special for you folks.
There you go.
That's
following
CW,
up reruns
baby.
of Whose Line Is It Anyway before reruns of Arrow.
Exactly.
How about this? App State Clemson, Saturday, September 9th. September 7th. 8 p.m. ACC Network.
I like it.
App State at Clemson. App getting a premier showing. That'll be going on at the exact same time as NC State, Tennessee, and the Duke's Mayo Classic on ABC. But hey, still good exposure for App State. That's a 2-screen night. Virginia at Wake that same day.
By the way, NC State also has a Thursday game in November when they go to Georgia Tech. That's a Thursday game as well on ESPN.
I feel like we just need to.
So anyway, there's just a lot of different games. A lot of that stuff's dropped out there.
There's a Friday Duke at Northwestern, 9 p.m. on FS1.
A lot of Fridays.
I don't like that. I'm just going to say that out loud. I don't like Friday nights, college games.
Neither do I.
It's Friday Night Lights. It's high school. Should own Friday. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of college media rights.
Speaking of the ACC.
Speaking of the ACC. Speaking of how does a game end up on a Friday? It's all television contracts. It's all network deals. It's all driven by the money. And the ACC got some very serious backup earlier today. The SEC, Southeastern Conference, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 are all joining forces to back up the ACC in their fight against Florida State and Clemson. There are all of these lawsuits going on, right? And one of the things that Florida State and Clemson are trying to do is get the ACC to publicly release their contract with ESPN because they think that'll help them get out of the grant of rights, get out of the media deal, and get out of the ACC. The SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12 all came forward to support the ACC in keeping those contracts in secret. That's an interesting way to look at it. The Tampa Bay Times had it first. Here's some clips from the Tampa Bay Times. Their unity came in response from last month's lawsuit by the Florida Attorney General as FSU looks to leave the Atlantic Coast Conference. Though some financial details have become public, the ACC said the ESPN contracts have other trade secrets too that they want to protect. Everything from how football broadcasts are selected to operational costs, sponsorship information, signage, future payouts, and conference composition provisions. Those are clips from the Tampa Bay Times. I think that's all, for lack of a better term, legal hogwash. And what I mean by that is They're hiding behind, hey, there's trade secrets in these contracts, so we don't want them to be public in order just to keep them private, right? They're not making the argument that they should stay secret for the reason they want them to stay secret. They're making the argument for them to stay secret that they think will best legally keep them secret. And here's why I actually think they want them secret. Here's why I actually think they're all backing up the ACC in this battle. Because they don't want to see grant of rights challenged in any serious way. If Clemson proves, or if Florida State proves, that the ACC can't keep them locked into their grant of rights, that opens up a can of worms that no conference wants to see. And matter of fact, it might make it so Florida State and Clemson aren't invited to the Big Ten or the SEC. Here's why I say that. If Florida State and Clemson can break their grant of rights, what's to stop Alabama and Georgia from breaking their grant of rights with the SEC? What's to stop Ohio State and Michigan from breaking their grant of rights with the Big Ten? Once a precedent is set that the grant of rights isn't enforceable, that you can get out without paying your exit fee, that you can get out without fulfilling the contract that you signed, what's to stop other conferences from losing their biggest and most valuable entities? So suddenly, the SEC and the Big Ten are looking at Florida State and Clemson going, I hope the ACC can keep you locked up right until the end of that contract. Because we don't want you showing the way to our most valuable teams that they can leave. Because the moment grant of rights are not enforceable, and I don't see how they wouldn't be because of contracts and you signed it and you weren't forced to and all that, but the moment they aren't enforceable is the moment conferences are donezo. Because then if it doesn't cost you any real money to leave a conference, the biggest and baddest schools are leaving their conferences and joining a super conference where the payout will be through the roof. Right? The moment that USC, Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State can all come together and leave their conferences without any serious repercussions and start a new conference, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, just contact the networks and just be like, hey, we can put all these big major brands. Who wants it?
Every week we'll give you Saturday, noon, 3:30, 7:30, 9:30, massive games. How much is that going to cost you? All of the money. Deal. So the SEC doesn't want Clemson and Florida State to leave the ACC unless Clemson and Florida State pay the full exit fee. Right? If you can leave, quote unquote, legally, then they're interested. Then they'll say, great, come join the Big Ten. We'd love to have you. Come join the SEC. We'd love to have you. Bring UNC with you. We'd love to have them too. But if they render those contracts irrelevant, if they render those grant of rights deals that they signed irrelevant, then the SEC and the Big Ten, who everybody wants to go play for, will hate Florida State and Clemson. Hate with a capital H and A, N-T, Andy, all caps, underlined, italicized, bolded, hates them.
Hate.
Player haters ball. And I've been saying this from the very beginning. The ACC grant of rights will remain sturdy because none of the true power players want it to be weakened. The true power players being the main conferences. None of the people with votes and NCAA things truly want any grant of rights to go down the wayside. So I look at it and I say this. Florida State and Clemson, you want out. Great. We all know it. Florida State, for sure. You've made it as obvious as you possibly can. You want out of the ACC. I answer with the same question I've been answering with this whole time. How? How? And I'll add a caveat. How do you plan on getting out now with absolutely no help from the conference that is going to be, you'll be joining hopefully after? Because this right here, the SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12, and as well as the ACC, they're coming together common enemy style. right? Like normally we hate each other. Normally, right, we just had these negotiations for the college football playoff and the ACC and the Big 12. You're getting less entries and we don't like each other and you this and you that and we wave our finger at each other. You just gave us a common enemy. So now they're coming together like cartoon superheroes putting their decoder rings together and turning into a more powerful superhero. The Power Four unite. And they're uniting against Florida State. Good luck. This isn't even a good superhero movie because the good superhero movies have villains that are at least seem as equally powerful as the good guys, right? It's got to be a fair fight for most of the movie, even if the good guys win. This is 4 massive conglomerates of huge, powerful entities against Florida State. No disrespect to Florida State. Actually, disrespect to Florida
disrespect to Florida State. All the disrespect to Florida State.
You're not going to win this one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. Folks, we're 2.5 weeks away till Father's Day. You're still figuring out what to get Dad? Something to do? Go to Deep River. It's an absolutely fantastic time. I've been down to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, by the way, deepriversportingclays.com. I've been down there with my family, with my dad and my brother-in-law. The 3 of us went out there, had an absolutely great time. And we've always talked about, hey, you know what? We need to get back down to Deep River. Let's go do that again. I was actually thinking about surprising my dad for Father's Day with a trip down there. He's actually going to be in town Father's Day weekend. Probably wake up Father's Day like, hey, let's go down to Deep River again. Let's go have some fun. Let's go do a round of clays. And that's an experience that I guarantee you that you're going to want to have again and again and again, that you're going to want to talk about often, more than just, hey, like here's another cool tool to add to your tool shed or something else for your truck. Give the gift of a great experience. That's what Deep River gives you. DeepRiverSportingClays.com. They have everything down there for your shooting needs. If you've never been down there before, one of the expert staff members will go around the course with you. It's as easy as that, folks. Don't have to worry about booking a tee time, none of those things. Head down to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Again, DeepRiverSportingClays.com. Check them out.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Gets to football at 4 coming up next. We talk about the big man on the left side of the offensive line for the Panthers, former NC State top draft pick Ikem Ekwonu in our crosshairs next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I tweeted one out last night. Mike Breen told a story about Walton taking Breen's dad, who served in World War II, to the Midway Museum in San Diego. There were so many great stories about Bill Walton. In so many ways, it was sad that he's gone.
Sure.
But it was almost an uplifting feel to all of it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, it's bow time. So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
Wow. I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bowl, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
Secure your tickets for Grammy Award-winning bluegrass band Steep Canyon Rangers with the North Carolina Symphony at UNC Health Summerfest. Don't miss the mastery of mountain music, June 8th at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater. Tickets available now at ncsymphony.org.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but, in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together. So that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Hopefully you'll have some time to get outside and enjoy this gorgeous afternoon. Low humidity, sunny skies, a high of just 81 degrees. It's pleasantly cool tonight as we dip back into the mid-50s under clear skies. Bright skies tomorrow and pleasantly cool with a high of 79.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 330 points to 38,111. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Panthers OTAs are going on. The off-season gatherings. I don't even know if we call them practices, right? They're voluntary. They're a little bit less intense than training camp. They're more of a get-together.
They're air quote voluntary, but yeah.
They're more of a get-together.
Glorified walkthrough.
But because they're together, we do get to hear from them in the media a little bit, which means we're getting more and more info onto the bet being made on Ikem Ekwonu, right? We've talked about this. The Panthers are taking a chance on Ikem Ekwonu. They are betting that he is better than he was on the field last year. And we've talked about this bet because, well, the Panthers have to make a few, right? They can't fix every part of their roster because that's not possible in a salary-capped sport, right? You can't just go out. Like if this were baseball, the Yankees sometimes, they're like, we need a first baseman, we need a left fielder, we need a third baseman, we need some pitchers, we need some relief pitchers, and they just go out and spend top dollar on every need that they have. Then they come back the next year like no holes in the roster. Then they find new ones. But you can't do that in the NFL. So occasionally you need to say, No, we're just going to take a bet on somebody. Right? We're just going to bet that they're better than they've shown. We're going to take a bet on their improvement. We're going to gamble that they are somehow unlocked this season. And it was very obvious that the Panthers were betting on Ikem Ekwonu. Because last year, there was not much of their offensive line that you liked. Maybe right tackle. Taylor Moton. Maybe. Everybody else, lots of room for improvement.
Yeah, to say the least.
So they went out and bought a left guard. They went out and bought a right guard. They went out and took one of the guys that was scheduled to play guard and put him at center. Those were the ones they actively fixed. Left tackle, the one that the other one that needed help, well, they're just looking at Ikem Ekwonu and saying, I hope he gets better. So why was that the guy they took the bet on? One, team investment. They did draft him in the top 10, and that's going to get you, I say this all the time, top 10 picks have 9 lives. They're just going to keep. Josh Rosen played for like 10 teams because it's like a cat, right? Just has more lives than you think.
Bradford.
Hey, injuries are. It's harder for me to be as brutal about injuries. Heck, I mean, half of the quarterbacks that have been Panthers over the last few years, the Sam Darnolds, the Baker Mayfields, if either of those guys were drafted in the 4th round, their career's probably over by now. Instead, they both might be day one starters, and one of them's on a $100 million contract. You just get more chances as a top 10 pick. So Icky gets that chance. The other thing is, and we're learning this now, Dave Canales, the head coach and play caller for the Panthers, is betting on Ikem Ekwonu because he thinks, meaning Dave Canales thinks his system is tackle-friendly. Here's Dave Canales on how his offensive system will help Icky.
It's a great system for tackles. We run the ball. We throw play-action passes, which engages as a run first, gives them a little chance to get their hands on a guy and be physical. We run boots. Okay, our keeper game where the line is really just selling a run the opposite way. And then in our pass game, the basis of it is to get the ball out quickly. When we do have to hold it, we'll try to help our tackles as much as possible when we can. Sometimes we can't. We got to call that player into protection at times. But it's a really friendly offense for tackles. We know when it becomes a passing game, the advantage is for the rushers. And that's where we at times, we ask the tackles to hold up here. But then there's also that it's the war of attrition, right? It's like both guys are starting to get a little bit tired, and so it evens the playing field out. But I think Icky's been doing a great job. What does he do best? He is a mauler, and we're going to run the ball. And I think when guys are able to just be aggressive and play to their nature, it gives them a lot of confidence in everything else that they do.
Dave Canales thinks he has a tackle-friendly offense, which – I mean, if we really wanted to parse words, if we really wanted to try to be a drama starter, an instigator, we could say, they don't think that Icky is better than we do. They just are going to ask him to do less. Give him less opportunities to mess up. He's a bad pass protector. We're going to ask him to pass protect less. That's how we plan on doing it. There's the backhanded compliment kind of type thing there.
But it's just playing to strengths, right?
Exactly. That's the glass half full way to look at it.
You do this thing. Hey, you excel at this thing. Let's do that.
I also think there's an element of get the tackle going with the run game, right? Let him physically impose his will over another person, move them off their spot against their will, and then you get that little dominant streak, right? You get that something you can hold over the defensive end's head, and it's the mind games that go on in those situations. Icky also spoke about what he thinks is different than last year, and here's part of what he learned from last year.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, I've been meeting with my coaching staff a little bit more closely. I feel like last year I didn't really take advantage of the resources that I had available to me. I feel like kind of just, I guess, riding the coattails of that rookie season a little bit. I feel like I was at a place where I just wasn't. So, wasn't afraid this year to reach out, ask for some help, go over film with the guys, some of the new guys we have in the building, and I think it's definitely helped me out.
He was really honest. Really honest. Right? Humbling experience, he called it another part. Didn't take advantage of the resources I had available. That is very much
rode the coattails of the rookie year.
Hand up on me. Yeah, rode the coattails of my rookie season. I was drinking my own Kool-Aid. I was in my own bag. Whatever your motive, your analogy is for it. I let it get away from me.
Basically did like the pat on the chest. That's on me, guys. Yep, that's mine.
But yes, he did that, but it's not like you got called for a holding penalty.
Yeah.
It's like I wasted an entire season of my development. That's on me.
It's good, like, have that introspective thought, like being having that mindset at that young of an age.
If he corrects it.
I mean, if he does, but at least he recognizes it. Okay, now it's about doing it. But just recognizing it is 9/10 of the problem.
Because, I've always been team, don't say my bad, say won't happen again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like it's we all know it's your bad, right? I always use the example of like a wide receiver dropping a pass because coming from a quarterback. Like, if I put it on the money and you drop it, I don't need you tapping your chest and looking at me like that's on me. We all know it was on you, right? There's nobody out there going like, "Oof, that's the offensive coordinator's fault on that one." It's like, no, it was a completion until it went through your hands. What I'd much rather have happen is you lock in and never let it happen again, or as little as possible, right? No one's going to be perfect. Like, that's where I'm at with Ikem Ekwonu. Great, you rode your coattails of your rookie year. You didn't use the resources. You were very humbled. How does that change the way you play? Right? It's actions over words. It's talk is cheap. And now you're in like Dave Canales just spelled it out, you're going to have an easier job this year, right? The pass plays are going to be quick hitters and play action as often as they possibly can be. They'll be quick game. They'll be run plays. They'll be playing to your strengths. You're going to have an easier job this year. Less excuses. Last clip for you. Ikem Ekwonu talking about Dave Canales.
Yeah, he's been great. High energy guy, something that we all kind of just respond to, we all kind of love. And we really just appreciate, what he's been doing for us, building this team and everything like that. And, he's been very clear on the messages that he has for us. And I just feel like we're going in the right direction. So definitely excited to have him, in my corner.
There's that energy talk again. Everybody notices this guy's energy.
It's a real thing.
Do you remember when Dan Campbell first took over the Lions?
Oh, yeah.
And they asked for his Starbucks order? And he was like, well, I get 2 buckets of black coffee, and then I have them dump just all of the espresso in there, and I get extra caffeine shots on top of that, and I wouldn't recommend it for anyone else, but that's what I do. Dave Canales has to have a similar order.
I don't know.
Has to be like, well, mostly just energy and energy and energy.
You watch Steve's like, I just drink water. Like, that's all. This is just me. That's all I am.
I drink warm tea, trying to calm down a little bit. And this is me on idle.
A nice organic chai to start the day.
A little chamomile. Yeah. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's do we have something here? Yes, we do. We have Dennis here, something for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, and MLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have an off-season edition of Confidence and Concerns, Cons and Cons, coming up next. And, as we do every single day, 433 Storm Tracker, Canes Rumors, coming up.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WREL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, and move again, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Go to stylinandsturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to stylinandsturgis.com to enter today.
Doing some spring cleaning, organizing closets or storage rooms? The Salvation Army of Wake County can use your help. The Army Thrift Store is in need of clothing, household items, dishes, glassware, and furniture. Your donations help fund community programs for those in need. Drop off donated items at 205 Tryon Road in Raleigh, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Please, no ripped or stained clothes, and furniture must be in working order. Make a positive impact with the Salvation Army of Wake County. Visit wakearmy.org.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more OSB sheathing. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you listen to this show, first of all, thank you very much. If you listen to it often, I should say, first of all, thank you very much. Second of all, check us out on YouTube. You can find us all points in the day, not just 3 to 6 on our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe while you're there. Like, comment, share the videos with people you think would enjoy them. We'd greatly appreciate it. But also, if you're a traditional listener, you know we like to play a game called Cons and Cons. And not pros and cons, cons and cons. Confidence and concern is another name for it. Sometimes
to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
There it is. Sometimes it's Canes related. Sometimes it's related to something else. Today it's related. Could be Canes. Could be something else.
Could be anything.
This is a portion of the calendar. Unless you're a big, and there are some sports going on. There's golf still going on. I'm a big golf fan. College baseball still going on. That's about to hit a really exciting part of the calendar. I'm watching right now in studio. There's a Duke, Oklahoma softball game going on.
Yeah, College World Series.
0-0, still in the first inning, kind of just getting started. There's certain things going on, but also a lot of the sports we cover in their off season, right? College basketball, college football, Canes, NFL. There's a lot of off seasons going on right now. So we thought for this week's Cons and Cons, Dennis and I, and we do not compare notes before this, so they could be the same, they could be wildly different. The question is, who are you most confident in having a great offseason, and who are you most concerned about their offseason, right? So confidence and concerns remains the categories. We're looking for a team, franchise, a program. As always with Cons and Cons, we have good news, we have bad news. Which news do you want? You always pick the bad news. We'll start with concerns. I'll lead us off.
All right.
I am concerned about the offseason for UNC football.
Okay.
It just seems so rare in modern college football to get to the point where you have a true quarterback competition on your hands. For this,
not often.
For this reason. One, the portal exists. So if you're going from within, usually the team knows, right? The depth chart is posted. You know who's next in command, and everybody who's behind that is like, well, I'm not going to wait around forever. They hit the portal, so then there's no quarterback competition because the incumbent is just going to, maybe not incumbent, but the next in line is just going to take over. So when someone like Drake May moves on, if you're going with Connor Harrell, everybody knows it. Everybody else transfers out. Harrell steps in. The opposite is, if you bring in a big-name transfer from another Power 5 school, Power 4 school, usually most people just know that person is taking over, right? You're seeing this at Duke. Malik Murphy comes from Texas, even though they had Grayson Loftus, who did admirable starting in some late-season games for them. It seems like everybody's kind of aware it's Malik Murphy's job. UNC has Harrell stepping up and Max Johnson coming in, and it seems like a true quarterback competition. Now, I like that they're giving them an option, like from my former quarterback mind. I'm like, hey, yeah, let them fight for it. But make no mistake about it, it's tough for a program to get two guys ready to play college football.
Yeah.
To go through a spring practice with split reps with the ones. To go through an offseason where, right, the receivers have to go to the private throwing with two different quarterbacks because they both want to be with whoever's the starter is going to be. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. So I'm just concerned by the fact that they don't have their quarterback decided upon yet.
Yeah, you lose your quarterback. You also lose your top wide receiver. Like, they have some good ones there, don't get me wrong. But obviously you know like who your running back is coming in, but there's been some turnover there, and it's just like, yeah, who's the next guy up?
And there wasn't like, they didn't go get the biggest, flashiest name on the transfer market. Max Johnson, coming from Texas A&M, was a good player.
Yeah.
But it's not like he steps on campus and everyone's like, there's the BMOC. He might end up the backup. So that's why I'm concerned about UNC football. Who are you concerned about, Dennis?
This one might surprise you a little bit. It's NC State football.
You're concerned.
This is my concern. I love all the guys that they brought in. Like the amount of guys that they've brought in. But here's my concern. Is that you have such limited time to put it together. You have such limited time to put it together because you brought in guys like Jordan Waters at running back, Grayson McCall at quarterback, and some of these others that were just for this coming season. How quick is everyone able to buy into their role? How quick are you able to figure out everyone's role? And how fast are you going to turn this thing around? Because the bar is sky high.
So
sky high. Like, it is like, honestly, it is. You better be in the ACC championship game with all the moves that you made. Like that, or at least you have to be like right there knocking on the door to be in the ACC championship game. Because Florida State lost a ton of dudes. Clemson, who knows what they're doing? And guess what? You can beat Clemson. We've seen you do it. Like, there's no reason why you can't be knocking on the door. So that's my concern for them. It's just this offseason is just getting everyone on the same page because you have such little time, and it's not like basketball where you do have some time to figure things out with summer workouts, or maybe you do like the overseas, playing and things like that, so you can actually play live reps against other people. You don't have that in college football. And I think that with so many new guys, yes, you had spring practice, but you only play yourself. And that's my big concern, is just it all coming together at the right time. I love the dudes they brought in, and this roster looks freaking awesome, just from like an outside standpoint. But that is my major concern, is that.
So let me see if I can vocalize this in a different way.
Sure.
Your concern is that they are that Philadelphia Eagles team that called themselves the Dream Team in the offseason.
Sure, if you want to make that analogy, why
right,
not?
Where
I'm not saying that.
They brought all in these free agents, and everybody was coming together, and it was flashy, and it had the names, and it was like
the backup quarterback said
and then the backup quarterback, Vince Young, said, "We're the Dream Team." And, of course, that season did not go great because of what you just said, right? All that talent never became worth the sum of its parts, right? It never all congealed.
I'm not saying they can't do it. Not saying they won't do it. By every indication, all these guys that are brought in know what the expectation is. Hey, it's all about this year. It's not like, hey, let's go get a bunch of just really young second-year guys in college that we can just grow and develop these guys for a few years. No, we're winning this damn thing right now, you put that major expectation on yourself, how quickly you bring it together. That's my big concern for this offseason.
The interesting part is if they brought in someone other than Grayson McCall at quarterback, I think they would have like a 2 or 3 year window, because a lot of those guys were like Hollywood Smothers, their running back coming over.
From
just
Texas.
Had 1 year. I think it was Oklahoma. One year
yeah.
at Oklahoma. Noah Rogers, the 5-star wide receiver, 1 year at Ohio State. Wesley Grimes from Wake Forest, 1 year at Wake Forest. So they have multiple years of eligibility left. But the quarterback doesn't. The quarterback has 1 year of eligibility left. So that does put a little bit of urgency on it, and it's not like you're coming in for the next couple years. It's everyone's all in for this year.
And I think the NCAA agrees to not limit. They officially agreed to not limit transfers in.
So everyone could leave again. Yep.
Yeah, everyone can leave again. So there's no. I know the NCAA used to have the rule where one free transfer, and then you can have to sit out a year. Then they kind of rescinded that. Now it's just gonna be like, yeah, you can transfer as much as you want.
Let's get to the confidence. You want to go first or second on this one?
You go first.
All right. My confidence as far as team off seasons for teams that we cover here on the show, Duke basketball.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, I am confused as to why they are moving the wrong direction in everyone's rankings on like the way too early polls right after the season when they knew they were having the recruiting class. They were top 3. Now they're down into like the bottom half of the top 10, some outside the top 10. I don't necessarily see why. We knew that Filipowski was gone. We knew that McCain was gone.
Yeah.
No one else really contributed much other than Jeremy Roach. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Roach. I do not think, whether he comes or goes is like swaying the tides of everything. I think he's a good veteran point guard. And I think he'll benefit from his time at Baylor. Like, I think he'll do a good job there. But I'm looking at this roster and going...
Then Mark Mitchell gone, too.
Mark Mitchell gone. But they're like... To me, that's a writing on the wall gone.
Yeah.
He was looking at his minutes and going... Cooper Flagg. He's been a thing in recruiting for years now, as he's going to be the number 1 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. And at every step along the way, he has backed it up, right? Every All-Star game, every AAU circuit, every high school, he's backed it up. He's really good. Kamen Malawash is a monster. He's 7'2", 7'3", great defender. Exactly what you need as far as rim protecting that they missed this past year. Harris, Evans, Knipple, these guys coming in to round out the rest of that recruiting class are flamethrower scorers. And then they hit, I would say, like solid doubles in the transfer market in Malik Brown and Mason Gillis. Big Ten 6th Man of the Year, great defender in Malik Brown. Gillis being that Big Ten 6th Man of the Year. I'm just confused as to why that, like, I think it's because they locked up the number 1 recruiting class so early that it gave time for everyone to hype them up and then cool off and then start lowering their expectations again. I think they're like their off season. And by the way, Tyrese Proctor coming back and Caleb Foster coming back. Like, they have a type now, 6'5" and above. Everyone on their roster that's a scholarship player is 6'5" or taller.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal.
Going all the way up to well over 7 foot. Like, I'm very confident in how their offseason is gone. The concern for Duke, by the way, I have to do a little mini confidence and concern within my confidence. My concern for Duke is the program putting them together and getting the most out of their talent. That's been the issue, right, since John Shire took over. He recruits like a madman, and then, at times it doesn't look like he has the best talent on the floor. Duke this is their best offseason since he's been around. Now it's, can you do the in-season stuff? But the off-season stuff, I'm wildly confident in Duke basketball. Who are you confident?
That's a big roster turnover for them, by the way, from one year to the next.
Yeah, in basketball it's a little less daunting, though.
Yeah.
Because you can play pickup and you can, drop a couple games early in the season and it's not the end of the world.
Tons of time to figure it out.
In football, you drop 2 games early in the season because you don't have chemistry. It's like, well, it was a good season, everybody.
Your season's cooked, yeah, basically at that point. By the way, speaking of Duke, Duke softball up 1-0 in the top of the second.
Home run. Smacked it.
Let's go. My confidence, actually, this offseason, it's Carolina Panthers.
Interesting.
It's the Carolina Panthers. And the reason why I say this is because
we will not be as negative on the Panthers. That's what the moral of today's show is.
Clearly. The reason why I say the Carolina Panthers is this. It's that this offseason, from what they've done, when Dan Morgan took over and Dave Canales hired as head coach, they clearly came up with a plan of what they want to be, what their identity is in terms of not just their X's and O's on the field, but the mentality of what they want their franchise to be known as on the field. They clearly had a plan of the type of player that they want.
Dogs.
Character. Dogs. They want that. They know what they wanted. They put a plan together, and they've executed that plan so far. Now, are there going to be growing pains with it? Absolutely. But they're actually heading in the right direction. Just look at the offseason of what Dan Morgan has done so far in terms of we've boosted the offensive line, we've boosted the defensive line and the defensive front. That's where we spent the bulk of our money, is on the interior. Okay, we're going to focus on that first, then we can spread to the outside. They knew exactly what they needed to do in order to upgrade things. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time to turn things around, but they have a plan, clearly, and they're executing that plan. And that is refreshing to see. And that's where the confidence lies, is that some teams can have an idea, but they don't know how to get there. It seems like the Panthers have an idea, and they're making the necessary steps and the right ones to get to where they want to be. That's where the confidence lies for me.
Interesting.
Because all these moves these offseason they've done. Now, again, I'll say it. They're probably going to win 6. That's my guess this year. They're probably going to win 6 games this season. But in terms of confidence of where this offseason has gone, I mean, to me, I give Dan Morgan, honestly, like, if I had to grade him now after the draft and everything, A- so far.
I'm a little bit more wait and see on them.
Because you can't fill every single hole in one offseason. But there's a plan, and they've done it. And that I love.
Yeah, I'll give you that there is a plan, and they've executed on that plan. I still want to see if the plan works, right?
True, but again, it's still, at least you have one.
Yeah,
because
they're going to run the ball 1,000 times,
and that's fine.
And I'm very curious to see if, like, because we've seen the Titans do it, we've seen the Ravens do it, but they also had like unique talents in Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to drive that like run style of offense. I'm interested to see if it's as smart to go all in on that offense when you have Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks as your like main bell cow ball carriers. So I'll agree with you that they have a plan and they're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no hesitancy. They're not half-stepping. I just, want to see if it's the right plan to go all in on.
We'll see. But again, it's a long-term thing for them. But at least they, from the guys they got rid of to the guys they brought in, clearly there's like, we need a certain type of guy in this locker room, and we're going to make sure we do everything we can to get him, and we're going to get rid of the stuff that we don't want.
That's Cons and Cons here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Now it's time for a little Storm Tracker rumor news.
Oh, yeah, hit you.
Somebody in the car right now just thought there was actual thunderstorm brewing.
Yep.
Storm Tracker,
That'll get you awake.
Look alive. That's what coaches used to always say when they surprised you, right? Look alive. Hit a rocket shot, ground ball at a 9-year-old. Look alive out there. Wham! Stay in front of it, Johnny.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hits him in the chest.
Yeah. Good. Dust it off.
Hey, you got in front of it. Good job.
Canes rumors time. This offseason, there's going to be a bunch of them because there are so many decisions that need to be made. Dennis, what rumor are we tackling today in Storm Tracker?
So the big name that's still floating around out there is Martin Necas. That guy. That's right. Carolina Hurricanes forward Martin Necas. I'm going to throw more names or more teams in the hat of teams.
More.
Talking about, hey, is Martin Necas a good fit for us? The Ottawa Senators being one of them, and the Nashville Predators. That's right. Even Nashville media, as early as today, or as late as today, as recent as today, we're talking, hey, is Martin Necas, would he be a good fit here in Nashville? Hey, up in Ottawa, the reasons why you need to trade for Martin Necas up in Ottawa. Montreal's name still floating around a whole bunch. Still here in Vancouver, still here in Boston, but now throw more teams into the mix saying, hey, you know what? Martin Necas might be the guy for us.
Are we nearing the point where you start to reevaluate if you should let Martin Necas go in a trade? If everybody – because here's how I'm thinking about it. And I know no one cares about my fantasy team, but stick with me for the analogy.
All right.
I'm in a couple very highly competitive fantasy teams or fantasy leagues. And if you drop a player, we do like a free agent. So there's like cash that you have to bid on to get someone off of waivers. If you drop a player and like everyone else in the league immediately bids decent amount of money on taking that player and getting them onto their team, you feel like an idiot. You go like, oh, man, shouldn't have dropped him, right? Like everybody wants him. What am I missing? Why do they like him so much if I didn't like him? Now that it's become obvious that Martin Necas is at least rumored to be available, right? And we're talking rumors here in Storm Tracker. Once it becomes obvious that he's rumored to be available, and it's like every day we're learning of 2 or 3 more teams that are willing to part with something serious, right? That like it's not like these conversations are being had with we think we could get him for a 6th. It's like, do we have the big pieces necessary to move to get Martin Necas? Does that give you any pause on maybe we should consider keeping Martin Necas? If everybody likes him, maybe we should like him more?
Well, I think it's we kind of mentioned it yesterday. It's the infatuation with the unknown. That's what intrigues people so much. Like, oh, look at the potential. Oh, think about that. Well, think about, man, think he could play center here? Imagine him playing with these guys. Oh, what he could do playing alongside that guy. He's already known for us here. Everyone else, he's like the unknown, and there was the possibility.
It's the rose-colored glasses part of the relationship.
Exactly. Like, I can make him better. Hey, in my system, that guy's going to do even better. But we already know what he does in this Kane system. We already know what he can bring. We already know what he does in the postseason.
So is there someone out there that we would not be doing the same thing with? Right? Because
we were doing the same thing when Jake Gensel was like, we should get Jake Gensel. We should trade for Jake Gensel.
No, I agree,
we were
but
doing the same thing.
I'm saying like so now that we know that's a thing, and by the way, it's not like a new phenomenon. Like you trade for somebody, you always imagine them like leveling up as soon as they put on your jersey. But now that we're aware of it, acutely aware of it, how would it be different with the people that you're bringing in for Martin Necas?
That's a fair point.
It's going like we're probably overhyping the prospects or the players that Martin Necas brings in because of the exact same reason, thinking we'll just make them, we can fix them.
Oh, it's the same thing. Well, I don't think it's a fix, like a fix them type thing. I think it's what you would get back is someone that you already know is going to be NHL ready, because that's what the command is going to be. Because the demand is going to be that high for Martin Necas. A NHL caliber ready to go player is going to be available and is going to have to be used in order to get Martin Necas. Simple as that. Whether it's a defenseman that is a top 4 guy, the Canes could just go ahead and, hey, you know what? We just filled Brady Shea's spot. Boom, right here. Here's Jacob Chikrin from Ottawa. Defenseman that the Canes apparently were interested in when he was in Arizona.
We're hearing a lot of that too, like the Pedersen stuff.
Yeah, Elias Pettersson.
I guess he doesn't have a no trade even in year 1, and he just signed the extension.
Yeah,
and the Natchez part of it was part of it, and maybe you throw in like a Kokiniemi and something else, and it becomes much more interesting. For more details on the Martin Natchez situation, what do we call it? Situation?
Yeah, sure.
Situation. Here's Ray Ferraro from TSN and ESPN.
And there is a level of inconsistency to him that leaves you wanting most games. So I want to know from the coaches, what's the plan that we could help him be a more consistent player? Because I think some of it is immaturity, like age. He's still a young guy.
Yeah.
He's a really young guy. But I really think quite highly of him. I think he should be a 70-plus point guy. Like, he can score. He can shoot. And he's been frustrating for Carolina because a player of that ability should not play on all 4 lines on your team.
That's the best example of it, of exactly what you were talking about, that unknown. Because he goes, he hasn't been consistent. He's an inconsistent player, and I love him. I think he's a 70-point player. And I'm going like,
he's done it once.
Oh, he can score. He can shoot it, but he's been inconsistent. It's like you're bringing up the flaw and then immediately ignoring the flaw, right? He can't shoot. He can't shoot. I love him as a shooter. It's like it's that quick, which is what everybody's doing with Martin Natchez. And if they want to let their imaginations run wild with the best version of him, I think we let them do that. And we say, how much will you give for it? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Here's the deal, everybody. It's about to get hot, right? It's if you've lived in the area, we've gone through the cycle, right? We've had the pollen, we've had the allergies, we've had is it getting hot? Oh, no, wait, it's cooled down. We're about to get the hot, right? You want to keep all that hot air outside. I'm going to throw a little overshare right here, a little TMI for you. I sweat a lot, right? It's not great. Been happening since I was a kid. A lot of times you wish it didn't happen. But one thing I want to make sure it doesn't happen is I don't want to be sweating inside my own house. So Window Nation can make sure you keep that hot air outside, and the air you pay to cool inside to make you not sweat stays inside, right? Because the one of the main ways that your energy bill goes up is because all that cold air that you're paying to cool goes out through leaky windows, not properly sealed, or your windows don't have the best quality of material, so it's able to escape right there. They don't stay open, they don't stay closed, whatever it is. Window Nation solves all those problems. Justin, one of their sales reps, came into my house. He talked us through it, and I can't emphasize enough that you should get the same talk, right? It's a free, no obligation presentation and consultation. So you don't have to buy anything. They'll come in and just talk to you about your windows, give you the insight into how you can save money on your energy bill every month, make your house more livable, and raise the value of your house. I'm talking like overall value of your house. It's all happening at Window Nation, and right now they have their semi-annual sale. 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule your appointment this week, just to the end of the month. You have to get it in by the end of May. So right now, call 866-90-NATION by the end of May, or visit windownation.com to schedule if you want to get that extra bonus plus the semi-annual sale. It's all happening at Window Nation and windownation.com. So make it happen for you. Xavier Legette, the first-round pick of the Carolina Panthers, was held out of practice already. Are we sounding the alarms on Xavier Legette? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker face of the league and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because
No.
I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
Wow. I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling. Better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 Pepsis for just $4 at Handy Hugo. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball term.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. After the draft, the NFL draft, the NBA draft, the NHL draft, I mean, any draft for your favorite team, there is a bit of a honeymoon period. Why? Because everyone drafted at the top of a draft has one thing in common. You know what that is? An awesome highlight film. If you're a first-round draft pick, whoo boy, can you put together an awesome 3.5 minutes with like a Drake song playing behind it, and it's just fun, right? You draft an offensive lineman in the first round, guess what you're going to see? Just mauling like FCS level defensive linemen from right. It's like, why are all these highlights against the same other team and I don't recognize them? It's like, that's because it's a
because that's what you're supposed to see.
Yeah, because that's some school from the other side of the country, FCS, the Big Sky. It's got a Dakota in the name or something, and that's all it is. And you just watch the highlights and you get excited, and then there's always the crash. It happens for even like C.J. Stroud. There's always the crash, right? A rookie that seemed to be going up. There's the first interception. There's the first loss. There's the first bad play, drop pass, or the first injury. And then because you were riding so high, the crash is aggressive. And it hurts, right? All of a sudden you turn into like the saddest person you know. This always happens to us. Of course, we took the one that can't. Blah, blah, blah. Oh man, it's another bust. Even if they bounce back the next game, everyone just pretends the meltdown didn't happen, right? C.J. Stroud lost to Bryce Young in a one-on-one game last year in the Texans Panthers game, and I guarantee you there were Texans fans that are like, "See, this is that stupid fourth down play that they completed that made the first pick go to them and not us. Oh my goodness." A month later, they're like, we didn't say that. What are you talking about? It's so much better. We're there with Xavier Legette. We got there quick. He was drafted. We had the highlight films. That one drag route that he runs for like 70 yards at South Carolina. I'm sure if you follow any kind of Panthers social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Catches it over the ball, runs to the right side, outruns everyone. He looks like he's a superhero. And everyone's excited, and he's going to open everything up, and he's this big physical beast. And then we got to like the fourth OTA, and he's being held out of practice with a hamstring injury, and everyone's like, of course, this is what can't have anything nice in Carolina. Sound the alarms. And here's my official response to the alarms being sounded. I forbid the panic alarms from going off in May. I refuse to allow any panic alarms for hamstring tightness in May. It's still May. It's not football season. It's not even preseason. It's not even training camp season. It's May. It's beach season, almost. Not even beach season.
Oh, it's always beach season.
Somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Dave Canales was asked why Legette was held out of practice.
He looked tight, and so yesterday he just had a moment in practice where he started to slow down. The trainers started talking to him immediately. He was like, all right, well, let's not throw him back out there. Let's not just try to rebound. Let's be smart about it at this point.
That's all you need to know. I refuse to allow a missed practice in May to mean anything more than a missed practice in May should mean. If a player chips a nail, and I'm only kind of exaggerating here, hold them out of a May practice. If they wake up and sneeze, if they're normally, I don't know about you, I'm normally a 3 sneezer. I sneeze 3 times.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, that's everyone in the office can. I'm a 3 sneezer. If a 3 sneezer wakes up and sneezes 4 times for a May practice, ask them if they think they should shut it down for the day. And it's a hamstring. What do I say? I have my hamstring issues. I tore my hamstring in high school. I pulled it a few times in college. I pulled it playing in Durham Bulls Park at a sponsor like baseball little get-together a couple months ago. I have hamstring problems. I know all about hamstrings. Hamstrings go quiet. They don't go away. And if you can nip them in the bud before they become an issue, I like if I could go back to the first time I felt hamstring tightness before I tore anything, and if I got to get that absolutely taken care of, I would pay stupid amounts of money. Like more than I would care to tell my family. I would pay that much money. Tell the trainers to do whatever it takes. Get the scans you need to get the treatment you need to get the little stem electric waves attached on there, and get your leg feeling all wiggly with ice and elevation. Do whatever it takes. And then on top of that, do whatever it takes to keep in mind that he's not falling behind mentally. Meaning mental reps. Have him call the plays in. Have him signal the plays in. Have every play that Bryce Young is not actively playing quarterback, have him standing next to Xavier Legette talking through it. Do everything you can in that respect also. Do it. But that's just common sense. That's just getting the most out of it. That's your wide receiver coach standing next to him and going, all right, you're the X on this play. What do you have? All right. Watch Jonathan Mingo run this route. Tell me what he does right or wrong. That's the stuff to keep him engaged. But you do not risk anything to have him on the field in May. And by the way, like this is how intense the coverage of OTAs is. He looked jovial on the sideline.
Yeah.
He didn't look sad. He didn't look pouty, right? A lot of times you can tell how bad an injury is by body language. He looked like somebody who felt a little tightness in his hamstring, and they said, we're going to be ultra cautious. Chill for the day. I'm not sounding the panic alarm on Xavier Legette. Now, if he's running a few times in a game, comes up lame, grabbing the back of his quad, grabbing the hammy, we'll have a completely different conversation. But for right now, put the cover back on the panic button so you don't accidentally bump into it. We're not pressing it yet. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Do you know how much you're spending on commissions each year out of your retirement account? If you don't know the answer to that question, you need to call Capital Financial Advisory Group. Do you know the amount of risk you're taking on with the money you have earmarked for retirement? If you don't know the answer to that question, you need to call Capital Financial Advisory Group. Do you know how many fees you're paying out of the money you have earmarked for your retirement? If you don't know the answer to any of these questions, it's time to sit down and see for yourself how those financial termites might be wreaking havoc on your financial plan. The good news is if you call up Capital Financial Advisory Group, my guy Coach Pete knows how to exterminate each of them and get you through retirement worry-free. Right? Everybody has the same goals in retirement, right? You just want the money you earned to be well taken care of and help take care of you. You don't want it to disappear unknowingly. You don't want someone else with their hand in your account, and that's where Coach Pete comes into play. He exterminates all of those other hands that are reaching in and taking money out of your retirement money. Wouldn't it be great to have an income you never have to worry about being taken away all the way through retirement? Again, call Capital Financial Advisory Group. You can call them right now at 800-691-3215. Right now, just make sure they know you heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Tell them you heard about it from Tim. Or text my name, Tim, to 600-700. I'll give both of those numbers again in a second. But if you let them know I sent you, you'll not only get a special, complete, and total customized retirement plan, you'll also get the 7 Baby Steps box set for free. So if you're ready to tackle your financial future head on, Coach Pete can help you regain control of your financial situation once and for all. Just call 800-691-3215. But make sure you tell them you heard about it right here on The Drive on 99.9 The Fan. Or you can text my name, TIM, to 600-700. Again, that's 800-691-3215. Or text Tim to 600-700. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's time for the starting 5, including Day 6, Canes GM Watch. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
NC State grad slipped and slid and tumbled her way to her second championship cheese rolling event. Abby Lampy, who last year wore a black NC State hoodie, sliding and slipping and falling down this 200-foot hill. This year,
tripping. Oh,
yeah.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, it's bow time. So don't wait, grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
I have done in my career literally thousands of joint replacements.
Meet Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon who now advises patients try all they can do to avoid the knife and consider regenerative medicine.
I myself was able to continue skiing for 10 years after my knees started to be a problem because I accessed regenerative medicine.
Now, after 20 years of study, research, teaching, publications, and clinical experience, Dr. Scheinkup is regarded as one of America's true pioneers.
This is the future of medicine.
Dr. Scheinkup came to QC Kinetics after seeing what they were doing around the country, helping tens of thousands of patients get lasting relief from joint pain with no surgery and no drugs.
QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more OSB sheathing. And there's more. Save 10% on select James Hardie products when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
A new day dawns and impact awaits. Remarkable, real-world impact. At UNC Greensboro, students question, experiment, find a community with support to grow, and visualize their place in the world. Spartans are the teachers, artists, nurses, scientists, business owners, and leaders who build our communities. That's remarkable, real-world impact. And it all begins at the G. Sponsored by UNC Greensboro and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with the station.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call, 919-995-0000. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $105 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure to mention me, Tim from 99.9 The Fan.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. What a pleasant afternoon. It's going to be a cool night. 54 the low with clear sky. A little cooler tomorrow, less humid, full sunshine, the high 78. Cool to start on Saturday, the low 52, the high 84.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 330 points today to 38,111. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle with TST. The soccer tournament starts competing for $1 million. And Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use code Triangle. Again, fcseries.com/Carolina and use code Triangle.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5 here on The Drive. And as always, we start with number 5. This is not number 5, but a quick update. Bottom of the third, Duke leading Oklahoma 1-0 in the Softball World Series.
Let's go.
A home run early in the game. Since then, a little bit of a pitcher's duel. That's what we got. Now let's get to number 5. Number 5 is day 6 of the Canes GM watch. And ironically, right, we've heard, usually in these situations, you hear a ton of rumors, right? Hasn't been much coming out of Carolina as far as if they're talking to anyone, if they're flying anywhere, if they're flying anyone in, if anyone's been interviewing. It's been relatively quiet.
Are we tracking flights?
We should be. Well, except, I don't know, do GMs fly around on the private jets?
Now, they might. But you can get it's FAA.
I know, but I don't think there has been flights from probably every NHL city to Raleigh, and if we're just looking at commercial airlines, we just don't know if the proper people were on it. Unless if Dundon's sending the PJ, if he's sending the private jet, that means somebody has to be a pretty important candidate, right? But I'm
maybe the candidate's just hiding in plain sight. There might be someone driving home from RDU right now listening to us, and they were on a flight with the next Canes GM.
How funny would that be if the next Canes GM is listening right now?
What's up?
They're in an Uber from the airport, and somebody just throws on 99.9 The Fan, and they tune in, and the first thing they hear is day 6 GM watch.
He's like, I won't get to 7. That's probably what he's thinking.
Walking in there, wait till I give him the old razzle-dazzle. Watch this plan I have to get Jake Gensel and Brady Shea back next year. Been talking to agents. Watch this. I'm going to blow Tom Dundon's mind. I don't know. What I do know is this. There might have to be some we talked yesterday about the Eric Tulsky of it all. We talked yesterday about the Tom Dundon element, right? Don Waddell, former Canes GM, in his introductory press conference with the Columbus Blue Jackets, said when he was working for Tom Dundon, they were talking 8 to 10 times a day. Right? So you darn sure are going to know that Tom Dundon's going to be heavily involved in the hiring process if he was talking to the previous GM 8 to 10 times a day.
I mean, it really is Dundon's decision.
Yes. I'm wondering if Dundon might not have to sell a little bit. Meaning, on the surface, the Canes job looks like a dream job for a GM, right? You roll in, you already have a great coach locked in 5 more years. You have a solid core of young players that are going to only grow and get better. You have a healthy farm system. Mm-hmm. It's not a situation where somebody has purged all their draft picks or anything like that. You have a really healthy situation.
You're not walking into a team where they mortgage the future for winning now, and you got to try and rebuild the thing.
The only thing that I think might give somebody pause is I do think it's going to be a tough offseason, this offseason for the Canes. I think it's going to be tough to be as good as you were last year, or actually as good is the wrong word, to be as complete of a team as you were last year, simply because salary caps and right? The Canes made a couple really good signings a handful of years ago, and that kept everybody kind of rent controlled. Everybody was locked into the deal they agreed to. Now they're going to be able to hit the open market and make a little bit more, and that's just going to price a handful of guys out of the Canes roster. So next year it is going to be difficult to be as good as you were last year, or at least as complete. By the way, I will put my hand up. That's my bad. Announcer's jinx. Oklahoma just hit a 2-run home run against Duke. I don't believe in superstitions, and I'm not superstitious, and I don't believe in the announcer's jinx, but that one was pretty on the nose. Duke was up 1-0. I decided to update you, and 2 minutes later, Oklahoma stole a base and then hit a home run. That's in the softball World Series, by the way. So my bad, everyone over there in Durham. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Now let's praise a Duke Blue Devil. How about that? A little bit of this was unintentional, like we had this planned already for number 4, but a little karmic justice. Derek Lively is wildly important to the Mavs closing out a series, beating the Timberwolves, and getting to the NBA Finals. He also didn't play in Game 4, which happens to be the only game the Mavs have not won in this series against the Timberwolves, because he had a sprained neck. For an update on it, here's Derek Lively on how his neck is feeling.
Just testing it out, Get a knee in the back of your head ain't easy. It kind of just makes a chain reaction go down your back, go down your neck. So it's just trying to be able to just be more cautious of my body, trying to figure out what I can and can't do, and just testing it out, as you see me doing right now. Doing some touch shots, just feeling out what I can do.
What did you find out? Any big limitations that you felt?
I mean, I just stepped out here, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm able to do some touch shots and having them able to take steps forward. I'm still trying to figure it out. I really don't know how much I can do. We're just figuring out what I can do, just trying to take it, see what's going to bring up red flags and what's not. So it's really just going to be able to just time itself.
I think he's one of those hidden value guys. There was another one, another player I used to cover like that, actually for the Mavs, who now he's been traded away since. Dorian Finney-Smith was this way, and I covered him because he was from an area I used to work, so it was like the local guy we tracked, and it was crazy because he'd finish a game with 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, and he'd have played 40 minutes, and I'd go, that's not a great counting stat, but they'd win the game. And then he'd get hurt and he'd miss a couple games and they'd lose all of them. And I'm like, I don't know. Obviously you can watch and see he's a good screener or he's a great communicator on defense or something. Derek Lively kind of hits some of that where it's yeah, I see the 9 points, the 11 points. I see the 8 rebounds, but he has more of an impact in winning than that would say, especially for a big man off the bench. So if he can play in Game 5, which is in Minnesota, I like Dallas to close out the series. If he can't, I like the Timberwolves to extend it, and then all heck can break loose, right? And once you get to Game 6, all heck can break loose, which is kind of an important deal.
I was looking it up here. Officially listed as questionable.
Questionable.
So basically it's 50-50. Flip a coin.
But, yeah, I mean, I would – there was 0% chance the Mavs were going to come out and say he's back this early. Sure. He was going to be questionable even if they're pretty darn confident he's coming back.
Do you think being up 3-1, just go and sit him, make sure he's ready to go, doesn't hurt himself even further?
No, I think that was Game 4, that thought process. I think this is important.
Okay.
I mean, just think back, and I know they're different sports and it's different, but think back to how, our hope changed when the Canes won Game 5. Game 4 felt like, all right, good job. You have some pride. You're not going to get swept, right? You dug your heels in. Once you won Game 5, it was like, no, really, maybe we should look into some travel plans to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Everything kind of opened up and it became more of a realistic possibility because then you only needed to win one game at home to go to it's Game 5, I think, is important. Even though, by the way, I know the Rangers did close it out in Game 6. Game 5 is important. So, no, I'm not – keep in mind, I'm also not risking anything. With head and neck injuries, you can't. So if the trainer says a no-go, it's a no-go. But I'm not giving them the if you're good, let's give it another extra. I'm not giving them that in Game 5. I also might turn to Luka and go, hey, Luka.
All right, Kyrie.
Hey, Luka and Kyrie, we're paying you guys a lot of money. This is kind of the superstar closeout performance. To use the other analogy, and this is going to sting for Canes fans, which one of you is going to be Chris Kreider?
Oh, God. Still hurts.
I said it was going to sting. I did warn you. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Caleb Love, former UNC Tar Heel, is taking his name out of the draft. He's going back to Arizona, where he was the Conference Player of the Year last year.
Well, for the non-existent Pac-12. Do you think he'll win Conference Player of the Year in the
Big 12?
Big 12? I mean, going to Big 12. I mean, Big 12 basketball got a little bit of a boost with Arizona coming in.
For sure. I'm trying to think. Isn't Dickinson going back to Kansas?
Yeah, Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, he'll be the Conference Player of the Year.
I think our good friend Travis Hancock, WFNZ, mentioned Hunter Dickinson, saying that Cooper Flagg this coming year will be about 7 years younger than Hunter Dickinson.
Cooper Flagg's like a legit 18, right?
Yeah.
Because he reclassified up.
Yeah.
So last year, Cormac Ryan was 25.
Yeah, I know.
That's a 7-year difference from the oldest to the youngest, and this is the last year where you have those extra COVID years. So there's going to be guys that are more than a half decade older than Cooper Flagg. And they could easily – Cooper Flagg and Hunter Dickinson could easily be at, like, the Player of the Year presentations as, like, the 3 finalists together. And it would be like – it'd be like I'm trying to think. It might be a similar age gap. Graham Hill, who sometimes produces the show, he produces Next Up every morning with Paul Ihander, and he does some podcasting stuff for us. He's, I think, 25, which I'm 33.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be almost the same difference. I can't tell you how much younger he seems than I do. Right? The reference, like I'll make a movie reference and he'll laugh and I'll be like, you have no idea what movie that is. And he'll just go like, nope. Like he gives me the courtesy laugh, but he's just like, no, sorry, no clue. Like Hunter Dickinson and the freshman class could have that same relationship where he's like referencing like Big Daddy and Billy Madison. And they're looking at him going like, well, what TikTok is that from?
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
just generational. Still, Caleb Love returning to Arizona, not quite that old, but he is a veteran scorer. He is, I mean, how long ago does that shot feel? And if you don't know what shot I'm talking about with Caleb Love shot, Google it. It'll pop up.
Against Duke in the Final Four. That was 2022.
Feels like longer ago than that. And he felt like a veteran then even.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't feel like, the Austin Rivers shot where it was like a brand new freshman hitting it. It was that felt like a guy who deserved it and earned the right to take that shot and knocking it down. Going back to Arizona. Who plays Arizona this year? Who in the triangle plays Arizona? Does Duke?
It's Duke travels to Arizona.
Okay. So he's not coming back into the triangle?
I don't think so, no.
That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Xavier Legette was held out of practice with hamstring tightness. That's a first-round draft pick for the Carolina Panthers.
All right.
I said this earlier. I'll say it again. I forbid anyone from panicking. You know who actually I give credit to?
Who's that?
Dave Canales. Because you have to think, Dave Canales is high energy already. We know that. We've established that. He's established that. Everyone that talks about him establishes that. Dave Canales is high energy. But you have to be a little nervous when you're a first-time head coach in the NFL, right? Like, you have to play every scenario out in your head over and over and over again. How could you not, right? The hamster wheel has to be cranking. And when you trade up into the first round to draft a wide receiver and you don't even make it through OTAs before he's being held out with hamstring tightness, it's probably pretty tempting for the coach to get nervous, right? How many times do you think he checks up with the trainers on Xavier Legette? Hey, how's he doing?
Twice a day.
Hey, how's he doing?
Yeah.
Hey, anything happen? How's he doing? Did he come in for treatment? How'd it go? What'd he do? How'd he say? Like, he's pointing to the smiley faces on the wall. Scale of 1 to 10, describe your pain to Xavier Legette, like every 20 minutes. You have to be a little worked up by that, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that. Let's jump to the clip on why Legette was held out of practice today. Here's Dave Canales explaining to everybody that it's not a panic situation.
He looked tight, and so yesterday he just had a moment in practice where he started to slow down. The trainers started talking to him immediately. He was like, all right, well, let's not throw him back out there. Let's not just try to rebound. Let's be smart about it at this point.
Let's be smart about it. He seemed calm. He seemed normal. Everybody, take a page out of Dave Canales' book. If that high energy, go guy can look at this and say, yeah, you know what? We're just playing it smart. Felt a little tightness. We're just gonna chill. We should all chill also. Xavier Legette being held out of practice is not the biggest story in the world. Matter of fact, it's almost no story. Now, I will actually, I won't say it's no story. It's a small story, okay? And what I mean by that is you file it away, and if it pops up again in a week, All right, it's a little bigger. Pops up again in a week. Okay. Now all of a sudden, if he's the beginning of training camp and he's held out for a hamstring, then you start to worry about him becoming a hamstring guy. But for right now, it's a nothing burger. So much of a nothing burger.
I'll say actually a little NFL news here for you. I know some people get into Hard Knocks, things like that.
Is this breaking news?
There'll be 3 different editions of. I'm sure.
I just like the sound.
So there'll be 3 editions of Hard Knocks this year. New York Giants, there'll be like the off-season edition, so free agency, the draft, which we might see some of the things involving the acquisition of Brian Burns, because that was all part of the offseason as well. So that's going to be part of it. Then the actual regular training camp version, the one we're used to seeing, Chicago Bears.
Interesting.
Chicago Bears. And then the in-season version of Hard Knocks, which I never really got into that. There's so much already going on.
I watched the Cardinals that year.
For the first time, they'll follow 4 teams in a division.
Ooh. I don't like that.
I don't know if I like that either.
The cool part about it, which division are they following?
I'm not entirely sure. That was actually listed.
The cool part about Hard Knocks is you get the full story. Yeah. Like, not only are you following the biggest star, you're also following the guy who has absolutely no chance of making the team, right? Not only are you following the starting running back, you're following the veteran running back who's trying to play one more year. Mm-hmm. Like, you get the full story. If you're following 4 teams, you can't do that. You're going to get head coach, quarterback, offensive coordinator, and that's about it. Like you're
one other guy.
Yeah, and whoever the most famous defensive player on each team is. Like, that's all you're going to get. You can't in one episode tell the full story of multiple teams, unless they're doing it like 1 month at a time, which I guess you could do. But the thing I love about Hard Knocks is you get the full range of everything, right? It's not just, I always point this out. When the Dallas Cowboys had the Hard Knocks mid-2000s,
mm-hmm.
the heartbreaking guy that got cut that everybody loved, and he was playing well in preseason, but he's an undersized, undrafted, scrappy guy, that ended up being Danny Amendola. He was cut by the Cowboys in the mid-2000s as a rookie, caught on with the Rams, and then eventually got traded or signed or traded, whatever, to the Patriots, and he became a Super Bowl hero. Now he's doing reality shows with Edelman, and he was at Brady's roast. And you can go back and watch it. Like, he was the guy that everybody was fighting for because he was a scrappy guy that was getting open in the preseason and returning kicks. Like, I love those stories. So I don't want to water it down and expand it to more teams. I want to dive further into one team. That was number 2. Let's get to number 1. The ACC and its battle against 2 of its very own. The court battle against Clemson and Florida State. This one more specifically Florida State.
Hey, they started it.
True.
Them being Florida State and Clemson.
Very true. But the ACC is getting back up from some unlikely places. The SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 have joined forces behind the ACC, supporting the ACC not releasing publicly their grant of rights and media deals.
It's a new alliance.
It's a new alliance.
A new alliance.
But this is the kind of alliance that might work. It's when there's actually benefits for everybody, right? I'm a big Survivor fan. Say this often. I'm still one of the nerds that watches the new seasons. Shout out if you just watched the season that just finished a couple weeks ago. The only alliances that matter are the ones where everybody involved needs it. Okay? As soon as there's somebody who doesn't need the alliance, they're flipping on the alliance. So this alliance where everybody's uniting for the ACC is a good one because they all need the ACC to win. There is a common enemy, which is the revealing of their contracts. They do not want their contracts made public. They do not want any loophole in their contracts that bind their conferences together to be found. So right now, what the SEC has is a meat shield, right? The SEC wants to, beyond a shadow of all doubt, let everybody know that they have control over the members of the SEC, right? The SEC conference, the commissioners, the agreement want everybody to know they control Alabama and Georgia and Texas A&M and LSU and Florida, on and on and on and on and on. Right now, what's happening is Clemson and Florida State are trying to make it so the ACC doesn't have control over them, that they can leave without penalty or with significantly less penalty. The SEC is saying if Florida State can't get out from the ACC, there's no way Alabama can get out from us. Now, if the ACC falls, that's one less meat shield, right? That's one less precedent being set for their control. So they're all getting together to back up the ACC with the hopes of just establishing the president, establishing the baseline that schools cannot leave. Schools cannot get out of their media rights. Schools cannot get out of their grant of rights deals unless they pay the full exit fee. Now, actually, the funny part that I think is the next step that not many people are talking about is, would the SEC, Big 10, or Big 12 communicate, whether above board or through back channels, to Florida State and Clemson and anyone else from the ACC that wants to get out? We don't want you if you break your grant of rights. Because they want their grant of rights to be upheld that much that it's like, hey, if you challenge this in court and you win, we will not bring you into our conference, which is your goal, because that then makes us vulnerable to teams leaving our conference. Once that's communicated, you might get a whole different tune from Florida State and Clemson, which would mean they would have to leave appropriately, like, pay the exit fee, which as of this year I think is like $536 million or something like that.
It's a lot of money.
What is $536 million a lot of money?
Allegedly.
$500 million a lot?
To some.
To some, yeah, true. Sometimes you do become desensitized to numbers, just
Yeah,
talking about sports all the time. You start talking about contracts and stuff, and you're like, well, so-and-so is only getting paid $12 million a year. And it's like, did I just say only 12? That franchise is only worth $3 billion. If you're in a major market, that's going to be worth $7 billion minimum. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. I know there's only a couple days left here in the month of May, but month of May is National Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. And as someone who rides a motorcycle, took the bike into work today. It's beautiful weather out there. I always make sure safety is first. Safety is always the number one thing when riding a motorcycle. Make sure your gear is in proper working order, from your helmet to the jacket, the gloves, the boots, everything that you're wearing to protect yourself when you're out there on the road. Also, make sure your bike is in proper working order. Are you getting the proper maintenance? Are you taking care of the bike chain? Are you doing everything that you need to do to make sure when you're out there on the road, you are doing everything as safe as possible? Make sure you're doing that anytime you're on a bike. But also, it's important for people driving to be aware that, you know what, there are a lot more motorcyclists on the road right now. It's warm outside. It's riding season. Make sure you are aware of all the bikes and stuff that are around you on the road. Make sure to be cognizant. Believe it or not, one of the, actually probably the biggest cause of accidents now here in the U.S., distracted driving. It's the last thing you need to be distracted while driving, and can't be distracted while riding a motorcycle. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount of money possible. That's where Law Tigers can come in, because Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs a couple of contestants to play the numbers game. We have a pair of tickets to see country music superstar Brett Young at DPAC on Saturday, October 26th, and we need 2 contestants to play the numbers game. If you want to win the tickets, you have to play. If you want to play, you have to call in. The number, 919-860-5326, 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I tweeted one out last night. Mike Breen told a story about Walton taking Breen's dad, who served in World War II, to the Midway Museum in San Diego. There were so many great stories about Will Walton.
in so many ways, it was sad that he's gone.
Sure.
But it was almost an uplifting
Yeah, it's
feel to
definitely
all
like
of it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
For a limited time at Circle K, get 3 20-ounce ice cold Mountain Dews for only $5. Only on the Inner Circle app. Do the Dew.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game, and on the line today, meaning for the prize, we have a pair of tickets to see Brett Young at DPAC on Saturday, October 26th. Competing, we have Brian in Fuquay on the line and David in Raleigh. As always, we have to ask a question. We pick our favorite answer to see who goes first. We'll start with Brian in Fuquay. Brian, the Summer Olympics are coming up, Paris Olympics this summer. What is your favorite event? That's simple. you are. We'll go to watch, by the way, not like to participate in. What's your favorite event to watch in the entire Summer Olympics?
I'll go with swimming.
Swimming? Any particular race, or is it just any time they're in the pool?
Anytime they're in the pool. Michael Phelps got me on that train and always enjoyed it since.
Sounds good. We'll go to David in Raleigh. David, you are up next. What is your favorite Summer Olympic sport to watch?
I particularly like men's basketball.
And why is that? Give us a little more.
Just because it gives me another chance to watch the NBA stars. And they've been pretty dominant, and so I kind of like watching them dominate under other countries.
All right, appreciate it, Dennis. I've had a good time making you the judge. I've been the judge so many times. Which one do you like more?
Those are both really good ones. The swimming's always intense, but the basketball I really enjoy just because you get different styles of play, and the rules are a little bit different. So there's some different strategy involved, like. Once the ball hits the rim, if it's still above the cylinder, you can actually clear the ball away. I mean, so it just, I actually do like the international basketball. I think is pretty good. So I'll go with basketball on this.
There you
one.
go.
Both great answers, by the way.
David and Raleigh, you are the person that gets to go first. The categories you get to choose from are NFL. Those are all players whose last name starts with R. NFL on a mission. All players that played at BYU. NBA current players only, and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
I'm going to go with NBA.
All right. NBA current players only. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No questions.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Bogdan Bogdanović, Atlanta Hawks.
33.
Incorrect. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers.
34.
Incorrect. Bogdanović, Atlanta Hawks.
18.
Incorrect. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers.
35.
Incorrect. Bogdanović, Atlanta Hawks.
48.
Incorrect. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers.
30.
Incorrect. Bogdanović. I'm sorry. I was doing my best with Bogdanović. That is not the easiest name to say. But Bogey, as they call him, did end up wearing number 13 for the Atlanta Hawks. Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers wore number 2. Unfortunately, did not get any right. But fortunately for you, because your answer was chosen and you went first, if there is a 0-0 tie, you get the win by way of the tiebreaker. So,
all right.
So sit on the line and we'll see if it holds up.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. There you go. Brian and Fuqua, you are up next. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining are NFL, all players whose last name starts with R. NFL on a mission, all players who played their college ball at BYU. And NHL Canes and Whalers only.
I would do the NFL on a mission, BYU players.
All right. All players who played at least part of their college career at BYU. I will give you the team and the player. Give me their jersey number. Just because somebody said this was confusing, actually told me in person this was confusing when we do these. We are looking for their jersey number with the NFL team, I say, not their jersey number with BYU. That's just the category.
Got it.
So we'll give you the NFL team that we want their jersey from, the player. I want you to go as fast as you can because there's 30 seconds on the clock. You do have a pass if you need it. You need one to get the win. Any last-second questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
32.
Incorrect. Zach Wilson, New York Jets.
2.
Correct. Puka Nacua, Los Angeles Rams.
17.
Correct. Taysom Hill, New Orleans Saints.
7.
Correct. Fred Warner, San Francisco 49ers.
54.
Correct. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
29.
Incorrect. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
Pass or
that's the only one left. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
30.
Nope. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
33.
Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons. Oh, we were so close. You got the first. You got the other 4 so quickly. We actually had a conversation in the middle there, and you still had a couple guesses. Algier with the Falcons. Where's number 25?
25. Okay. Dang it. Okay.
You were dancing around in the 30s, but I was trying to mentally go. No, 25 didn't work. I don't have ESP.
Hey,
I want you to know, never apologize for the Survivor references. That's the best show.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Keep going.
I agree. There we go. I knew there's more of us out there. You are the winner. Congratulations. You got 4. For those of you playing at home, as I mentioned, Algier wore number 25. But you get the tickets to see Brett Young. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, cool. Sit on the line, and Dennis will get the little bit of info he needs to from you to make sure you get your tickets. I respect that, and I respect the Survivor fandom. I'm glad he won. Now I'm going to see. Here's the thing about, real quickly, my Survivor nerddom. I think the whole world watched the first couple of seasons, right? Like that was the biggest show ever in like 2000. I took like 20 years off from watching it, and then binge watched like 45 seasons in a row. So I don't spoil Survivor as much as I probably could on this show, because I know that there's somebody out there that is going to fall in love with it, and they're going to try to watch 40 seasons, and I don't want them to be spoiled because I made a reference to a specific player. But if you ever want to talk Survivor and you see me out, if we're out at an event, if we're at a game, whatever it is, feel free. I can talk strategy with just about every player that's ever played the game. The one thing I will spoil is if you watch it, the player Chase, who gets manipulated by Brenda, that's Chase Rice, who ends up being a country music superstar. I watched that one later and didn't realize it was him. It would be much more fun to go back and watch it knowing that it was Chase Rice, who has a bunch of hits on country music. But he got famous after Survivor. There you go. Like I said, I could nerd out pretty aggressively. And the one season did just end. So if you have thoughts on that, again, track me down. Talk to me on social media. We can have it there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I do want to make a request here, a little personal request for you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We are constantly posting more and more and more stuff. There's podcasts. There's YouTube-only content. There's content from this show, Adam Gold's show that airs before this. There's content related to all the teams that you follow here locally. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends about it. Please share the videos. Share them on social media. Share them wherever you can.
And we're live there too.
And
you
we're
can
live.
actually watch
True.
us live. You can leave comments and everything like that.
Everybody that's watching on YouTube right now, hello. How you doing? With that being said, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it all happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. Use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement project you've been wanting to get done. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, speaking of our YouTube that we were talking about, Cedric said, sup, Tim.
There we go.
Because you're waving.
Appreciate it, Cedric. When we come back, JJ Redick, is he taking over the Lakers, and why is that smart or dumb? Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Grab a frosty mug and try the newest flavor from Bluebell, A&W Root Beer Float Ice Cream. A creamy vanilla-flavored ice cream swirled together with an A&W Root Beer flavored sherbet. A new way to enjoy your favorite root beer float.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, and move again, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million in Manchester City, taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code Triangle. Again, fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code Triangle.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, it's tomorrow, but we have NC State baseball, 7 o'clock, regionals. We've been hyping up how awesome the college baseball postseason is. So if you can make it out to one of the regionals, there's 3 of them in North Carolina, one in Raleigh, one in Chapel Hill, one in Greenville. If you can make it, awesome. If not, you can get the vibe of it right here on 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, ticket prices to get in right now on resale market are insane. Like get to Greenville for the whole weekend. It's over $500. I think just here, I think it states over 300.
That's probably the best sign of all, that it's a great atmosphere, that it's cool, right? Like,
yeah,
everybody wants to get in. They already know. We're trying to put you onto it, and the word's already out.
Apparently, the NCAA in Greenville is putting a damper on some of the tailgating that the ECU folks are doing. Which, come on, folks.
You know what I have to say.
What
to
are we
that?
doing here?
There's a few things that I believe are completely unstoppable.
What's that?
One of them, ECU Pirate fans finding a way to tailgate.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if they'll go to a grocery store parking lot and bus in. I don't know what
they'll find a way.
I don't know what. Yeah, what's the Jurassic Park? Life finds a way.
Yeah.
ECU tailgates find a way. I'm not worried about them being curtailed by the NCAA. The NCAA has not seen a force like the ECU tailgaters. They're used to going into normal college towns and saying, "Oh, actually, the tailgating is going to stop."
Nope.
I'm just saying, you're going to have to work harder than that for the people in purple.
I mean, honestly, I won't be shocked if we got big tailgate at NC State.
And true,
NC State's massive with it too.
Absolutely, NC State, and there's who's at ECU? Somebody else that's local.
South Carolina and James Madison are there as well.
South Carolina's
all within a drive.
Yeah, they can bring grills on the back of the truck. They'll find a place to tailgate also. Where's Wake Forest?
Wake Forest is at East. I'm sorry.
It's in Chapel Hill, right?
No, sorry. Wake Forest is at ECU. I take that back.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Wake Forest is at ECU. My apologies on that.
Yeah, there's tailgating. That's
South Carolina is at NC State. My apologies.
So they're all within a drive. LSU is at Chapel Hill, and LSU, even if they're not within a drive, they'll find a way too. It's going to be some great atmospheres. There's a reason why prices are so expensive. But like I said, you can listen 7:00 tomorrow. Right here, 99.9 The Fan, NC State baseball, and throughout their regional, right, as they continue through pool play and hopefully make a run, you can hear it all right here on 99.9 The Fan. You're doing some typing. Anything else we're learning that you should pass along?
I just want to make sure I don't screw up the regionals because I'll hear it.
All of a sudden, you're going to have a bunch of South Carolina Gamecock fans. I heard about it on the radio. I'm in Greenville. Well,
that's on you. That's all I'm going to say.
Real quickly here, Duke legend J.J. Redick is becoming an overwhelming favorite to be the Lakers' next head coach. Chris Haynes, TNT NBA insider, told the Dan Patrick Show, "I will be very surprised if their next head coach is anybody but J.J. Redick. Everything that I'm hearing is J.J. Redick. From what I know, he's doing some background, calling some assistant coaching candidates who might be able to join his staff or might not be able to join his staff." Obviously, everyone's pointing to the fact that J.J. Redick started a podcast with LeBron James 2 months ago and thinking maybe that was a test driving of a relationship a little bit here. And LeBron James is going to have a ton of power because he has a player option for next year and he could opt out and leave the Lakers. So he could easily say, here's the head coach or I bounce. So that's a possibility there. I look at this differently and say I think it's a good fit. Regardless of who's choosing, I think it's a good fit, and this is why. I do think the number one thing a coach has to do on a LeBron coach team is relate to LeBron. I think the number one relationship in NBA basketball locker rooms is best player, star player to coach, right? There's a reason why Phil Jackson is seen as so great. It's because he managed the stars' egos. He related to them. He got Kobe and Shaq to get along as long as he could. He got Jordan to, not punch his teammates in the face so much. He's managing the stars. And I think J.J. Redick has an experience that makes him relatable to LeBron that nobody else has. He's been that polarizing figure nationally. LeBron James is one of the most polarizing figures in the history of sports. The people that love him. The people that hate him absolutely despise him. And J.J. Redick has been that. When J.J. Redick was at Duke, when he was right here in the Triangle, Duke fans, loved that dude. Every other arena hated that dude. And that expanded to a national level of popularity we haven't really seen from many college basketball players. Or infamy, popularity or the opposite of, whatever that would be. So I do think he can relate to LeBron in a way most coaches wouldn't be able to. Darvin Ham played in the NBA for a long time. Darvin Ham probably never had an opposing arena care really any which way about him. JJ Redick has been that polarizing. He can relate to LeBron in a few different ways. Yes, coaches have to be great at schematics. I think JJ's been in the league long enough to get that. He knows when to call different plays or when to switch up rotations. But they also have to be the social elements. They also have to be aware of relationships and dynamics and everything else, and that's where I think J.J. Redick can get along. Not to mention he's, played with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan and Chris Paul. He's been in a star-laden locker room in L.A. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quickly here, I want to tell you about my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs, which we were just talking about, and at least the league, they're heating up. And so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the finals, and the DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. And if you're new to this whole sports betting thing, you don't necessarily have to go in and bet teasers or parlays. You don't have to go in there and look at player props. You can just do something super simple, like picking a team to win, right? You look at the game being played, maybe it's Dallas, Minnesota, and you just pick the team you think is going to win the game. Try betting on something simple like that. Just go to the app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple. And I've got something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, T-I-M-D, with no spaces, and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Again, that code, TIMD, T-I-M-D, with no spaces. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have Overdrive coming up next, and we're going to start with Day 6, no GM for the Carolina Hurricanes. We talked about it earlier today and what might be going into that delayed search, or what might delay the search as we move forward. So that's going to start Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 to round out your week for The Drive. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Duke softball's down 7-1. That game's in progress. See you tomorrow.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.